Are you thinking about buying a new home? What we're going to talk about is a seller credit, meaning the seller is going to offset some of your closing costs. I've got the top 3 tips for you right after this. Hey there, this is Ryan Skaggs, and this is the Mortgage Minute. This channel is dedicated to everything mortgage, real estate, and interest rates. We're putting out weekly videos on the channel about everything related. Now let's start with those interest rates. So the average 30-year fixed, according to Freddie Mac, is up to 6.12. We had a Fed meeting this past week. We saw a really good jobs number. And those have really been the two big precursors of we were trending down several weeks in a row. If you check out the chart below, I'll put a link to the average 30-year fix according to Freddie Mac, and you can see on that chart as we've gone down literally since the start of the year, and this would be the first one kind of where we're starting to see that trend going back up. So while you're down there checking out that link, click that like button, click that subscribe, and then click that bell icon to be notified as I'm putting out weekly videos on the channel. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of today. We're going to talk about the top 3 tips into making an offer or buying a home with a seller credit. So let's start by definition. What is a seller credit? That is a credit to offset your closing costs, right? The seller can't just give you all the money for a down payment. They can't pay for all of your closing costs. They can't leave a Lamborghini in the garage and have you pay $100,000 more. That is literally where some of these rules came from, is dating back to the financial crisis. And then when the government came in to regulate, is that properties kept appreciating, and there kept being these massive credits, back to the buyer, literally covering all the down payments. So they had no equity in the property or negative equity in the property, and then all of a sudden the property's worth less, and they've got no skin in the game. So seller credit is there to offset. So now that we've got that out of the way, we want to talk about the kind of top 3 tips. My number 1 is that you have to consider how much you can get right up front when you're making an offer. You want to put it into the original offer, and you definitely want to consider what is it that I can get. You want to speak to your lender in terms of what is the maximum credit, what should I be doing. Speak with your real estate agent, as well in terms of where the market's at. And I'm going to take you onto the screen here real quick, and as you can see, I'm going to be typing in Fannie Mae seller concessions, and as you can see it, we're going to pop up basically Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. You're going to be able to see here, as I'm kind of highlighting, the percentage, the max percent that you can get as a credit from the seller to the buyer. It's called an interested party contribution. If you're looking at an investment property, the max is 2%. If you're looking at a primary home, putting 5% down, 3% down. Now, these policies can change. I'll put a link below, to that as well, but you definitely want to consider what is that max. One of my kind of tips in this number 1 category is also consider a flat amount. Take math away from everybody. Who really enjoys it, right? I'm a numbers guy. Maybe I enjoy it, maybe I don't. But if you said, okay, 3%, then the seller's thinking, okay, you're making an offer of this, but yet I'm going to lose how much? Okay, and then what's my bottom line? Just, hey, I'm going to offer $250,000 to your house, and I want you, seller, to kick in $5,000. Flat. Easy. There you go. All right. So that is my first tip, is know exactly what you can and can't do. Have it on the original offer that you want to have a seller credit. Now, tip number 2, and this really piggybacks into number 1, is that you want to consider the overall market environment prior to asking for a seller credit. What I mean by that is that if there is 10 different offers and there's multiple offers on a property and you're asking for a credit, even if you're the highest price, you may net down that same thing. I'm going to offer $250, but I want a $5K credit. That seller's only walking away with $245. So you had better be the top one, before you net out that credit. And the seller may consider, and this is just kind of what people think, is that maybe this buyer can't afford the property and they have to have a credit from the seller. Now, that might be an unfair representation, but something to consider. If you're the only offer out there, they're usually willing to kind of be open-minded, willing to work with you. When you're the 10th offer out there for a multiple offer situation and you're trying to win, likely not a good strategy. depending upon your individual market. Again, talk to your lender, talk to your real estate agent in your individual market. I'd love to help you if you're in a state that I'm licensed in, or be able to refer you to some trusted colleagues in over 40 states. So now, number 3, inspection. After you get under, you buy for $250, you got a $5K credit, you put some earnest money in, you order an inspection. That's the person that's going to walk around the house, tell you how good the roof is and the water heater and things like that. And they're also going to potentially come up with some things that you need to fix. Now, you as a buyer likely have the opportunity to go to the seller and say, hey, that water heater, you've lived in the house for 10 years, only has like 1 year left. So I really need you to replace that water heater before I come and buy your house, because I'm going to come into a house that has immediate deficiency, right? So in this case, a lot of times, again, this just goes back to the psychology of the seller. They're going to say, I'm already giving them $5,000. Well, yeah, but really, in reality, they're just giving you $5,000 to offset your closing costs. It has nothing to do with the inspection, but 9 times out of 10, it all kind of groups into the conversation and negotiation. So just something to consider. I don't want you to lean away from it, because I think they are absolutely great, and I've used them personally before when the market is right. So those are your top 3 kind of tips in regards to a seller credit. Please put your comments below. Let me know what questions you have. Click that subscribe button. Let me know if there's other topics that you want me to run through. I'd be forever grateful for that subscribe. Stay safe, and we'll see each other again very, very soon.